64720 for reservations. Oh, and don't forget, there's a live band, The Magic Touch, every Friday night. See
Global 99.5 FM reminds our listeners that the views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the host and guests and not necessarily the opinions of the owners of Global Communications Network and the operators of this radio station.
This is Professor Sidney Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. We do apologize for the slight delay. Sometimes we do come into some technical difficulties. We're going to work them out. But you continue to pray for us. Pray for Professor Sidney Walter Thompson, because we have some serious challenges that lay ahead. That means we have to face them head on. Today is Open Line Friday. Discuss anything you are interested in talking about. Of course, I know election is top of the line issue that you would like to discuss. I heard on another show where they were talking about the election and all manner of things were put forth. And Bahamians have their views, have their differences, they have their opinions, and that's all allowed under the Constitution. But I think we have to be a little bit more objective, be a little bit more courteous to each other. And what was interesting on that other radio station was that I was hearing about some things that are very carnal. And Bahamians, if we have carnal-minded people who are so carnal in their thinking, in their behavior, in their actions, what kind of improvement will we have in this country? We won't have much of an improvement at all. We've had 52 years as an independent nation. Now we have to move on to bigger and better things. This is year 53, and we're almost a month into it. This is August, and Bahamians, we have to get very serious about where we want to take the nation. And of course, on that particular show, there was a young man who was born way after independence. This man is just in his early 30s. So he came a long time after. So he was not there when even we became an independent nation. And he was asked a question. And I was interested in hearing what he had to say, and I heard what he said. Listen, if you don't know the vision of this country, you don't create no new vision. You get to learn what the vision is for the country. The vision stays the same. But you've had different people running things, and they believe it's their responsibility to create a different vision. That's foolishness. That's nonsense. You hear people talk about the governments of the Bahamas. There's no such thing as governments of the Bahamas. If you check your constitution, there's one government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas from 1973, an independent nation. The government of the Bahamas, not governments. Different administrations, yes. Different personalities, yes. Different personalities and ministries, yes. But one government. From start, July the 10th, 1973, right on up to today as I speak to you, August 8th, 2025. So what you see is a continuation of the government of the Bahamas. Whether they do things right or wrong, you can evaluate that. And people are very much concerned about what has been happening in the country. And the question is, what are you prepared to do about it? Are you prepared to make the necessary sacrifices that are essential to change things in this country? Because Bahamians, we need a lot of things that need to be changed. A lot of things are happening right now that many of you are not even concerned about, unfortunately, but there are some who are concerned. And they say it's the few that are benefiting who are not concerned. But the vast majority of the Bahamian people, the overwhelming majority of Bahamian people, have they benefited as a nation 52 years later? That's the question we need to ask ourselves. And if laws are passed, if they do not benefit the overwhelming majority of the people, are you saying the country is growing? People are looking for a better country, a better government, a better nation. They want to see improvement in their communities. They want to see better constituencies. So how do you get that? You're not going to get it by having greedy, selfish people. That ain't going to work. And the particular host of that particular show was saying a lot of things and had one guest on who is a part of the royal family. And the thing is that they were talking about the things that people do and how they're into themselves. And if you have people who are interested in themselves going into politics, as they call it, but actually wanting to be represented in the House of Assembly. You can be a politician, but you don't have to be in the House of Assembly. There's a difference. Why would a person want a job for $28,000 a year? Why would he fight, or why would she fight so hard to get one of those seats? What is there about being a parliamentarian representative that entices people, or people desiring for that position? Are they concerned about helping the people? Well, all we have to do is look at the record for 52 years and see what went down. And you have plenty of evidence in front of your face. So we're going to change what has been happening. Then we have to get quality people with good character, with decency, who are prepared to sacrifice themselves for the sake of the people. Do you have people who are prepared to do that? Jesus himself, who set the example, sacrificed everything himself. And everything that he owned, he sacrificed all of that, gave it up to cause you and me to have salvation in the kingdom of God, because we couldn't help ourselves. Do you have that kind of representation? And are you as constituents prepared to support such a one who is prepared to do that, to work on your behalf, to deal with those hardcore issues that have been plaguing you for years? Personality after personality after personality has been in your particular constituency, and yet the problems are still there. Why? You need to ask yourself that. I believe this time around, you will have to give yourself a very tough analysis, very tough. Every single person who is interested in being your representative, you have to clean them like you clean chicken bone. Just take off all the meat and leave the dry bone. Because there are some things that are hidden in the closet Bahamians. You have to remove those dark windows, those doors that have been barred up. Some skeletons are in there. You got to pull them out. Your life becomes open to the public. Even though I am not running for a political office, being in the public eye means you're up for scrutiny. I don't have any problem with that. You can scrutinize all you want. That's fine with me. I believe you have a caller on the line. Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, brother Professor.
Hey, what's happening, man? This is Open Line Friday.
Yeah, everything's good, man. Nobody can call them when they have chance. Yeah, but yeah, Professor, you're right. The Bahamian people, they know what they have to do,
But I want them to do it. See, they may know. You said they know what they have to do, but are they prepared to do it?
No, they're not prepared to do it. See.
So then, what are we doing this exercise for then?
See, the thing with Professor, over and over and over and over and over, you have people them keep telling them what to do, where to go, the right way. You either go left or you go right. They know where to go. These is big grown people. They could drink. They could do everything else because they're grown up.
Yeah, but Carla, they may be what you consider big grown people, but they're just like newborn babies.
That's correct. It's like
okay. They do not have any sense of direction or purpose. I'm not saying all of them now, because we don't have enough people, in my view, who are challenging the systems that we have in this country. We have to be prepared to challenge it. The Constitution gives you the power to do it. We're not using our constitutional rights, freedoms, and privileges. We have the best constitution on the planet, and we don't know it. So how come we don't know? Are you there, caller?
They teach it, Professor.
Go ahead.
They need to start teaching us inside the school. They try to teach us Christopher Columbus and this and that and all. These things don't make no sense. A lot of things they teach in them schools now, when kids who come out, they don't even remember them no more.
If you can have an administration that is prepared to do that, fine. We haven't had it done in 52 years. And those who are there now have no intention of doing it. They themselves don't even know it. So that's dead in the water right there. Now, what I said to another caller who said the same comment you made, it should be taught in the schools. We at this time cannot wait for that. We have to find an alternative measure, an alternative route, and we do have an alternative route to deal with that issue. Because the government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas has not done it in 52 years. You think they can do it tomorrow? You think they can do it today? You think the government is going to do it before their term is up? The answer is no. They haven't done it in 52 years. We're in year 53. We have to look at the facts as they are and create an alternative. That's why Professor is here.
Thank God for that.
Huh?
Thank God for that, Professor.
So I am going to be actively involved in making sure that I get the Bahamian people to be in a position to make sound decision and a good judgment based on the Holy Bible and based on the Constitution. We're going to look at the garbage they put out there, what they call manifesto and whatever, our plan, whatever crap they got out there. Be prepared to look at it. Is it constitutionally sound? Yes or no? Is it biblically sound? Yes or no? Do you have a righteous representative? Yes or no? Do you have a wicked representative? Yes or no? We got to answer these basic questions, Bahamians. Is your representative a homosexual? Is your representative a lesbian? You got to know these things, Bahamians.
These demons don't care about nothing,
But if we don't care about it, we ain't gonna have no country.
That's correct. They don't care. They don't care what it is. You don't see they bringing them up now. They want home. They bringing them up. You ever see the family photo? It's supposed to be 3 girls and 1 boy.
Yeah.
Now they have 2 girls and 3 boys. The 2 girls staying in the boys, and the parents them buying the clothes for them to put on, the boys' clothes to put on. So, and these people are up in the high end society. See, Professor, you got to realize that.
Yeah.
The people are all in the pulpit, everything and all that. These people are going up their church the same way. They can talk to their kids, them, but they can't talk to no one else. They own kids.
Yes.
You understand where I come from? And the thing with Professor, we have a lot of Bahamian people right now that's faking life. They fooling the public, trying to fool the public that they living big and bold and high and mighty. But guess what happens? They ain't them catching hell, and that's who's suffering.
Yes.
The kids, the grandchildren, the children who ain't even born yet. That's what they're writing. That's why we having problems inside. Generation crisis was still going on in this country because the parents, them, your mother, you see what your mother did, and you still going on that same road.
Yes.
You understand? And that's what happened. Then the kids them coming up the same way, Professor. You can know you had 5 or 6 children. Why you can see your daughter? And some of these kids them smart. You know, the kids them on the honor roll and everything and all that. And then when they come to the school, Professor, they go on a hard, right? They go and had all a bunch of children and kids and all the mother them allow it to happen. You understand? And that's what's going on right now. The parents and the blind are leading, and the blind is leading the blind, because the father is the same way. He is into working, yeah, professor, you could work and push it, and you need the money and everything and all. The professor still need time for these kids, man.
Yeah, you need to spend time with the children. Yeah, that's important.
You know? And that's why I try to be there for my daughter. I try to spend time with her. And do things. She likes to play basketball, go to basketball practice, she have games. I do all these things, Professor. I have to be there.
Yes.
That's the only one I have, Professor. That's my dad. I have to be the one without the wife my hip. So I can't ruin that. You understand? My mother had. Yeah. I had the Professor. I had to clean my I used to last or the pride. You understand? My mother had me when she was in the 40s, late 40s. I never supposed to be born, I don't think. But God still bless her. But I've been around, Professor. I watched my mother pass away right in front of me. But I was there, bathing her off, washing her, feeding her and everything, Professor.
Yes.
You understand where I come from? And she made a way for me. That's why I got these human people who understand when you when you close the door on your kids them, and you don't see the Professor, when you have kids, you're supposed to have, you don't open the door wide, or you crack the door for them to go and open the door themselves. You understand where I come from?
Yes.
But a lot of these parents them now is making sure their kids them suffer the same way they suffer. That's why I said the generation crisis is so serious. And we need some serious prayers. But Professor, before I go, why we don't have a constitution council? Like they say may have the Christian council, they have this council. We need righteous men them who could, when they do wrong, the few men them or women would stand up with the Constitution on national TV or whatever on the social platform or whatever, Professor. We need a formal group. That's the only way we could, Professor, a team work. We need more than one people. One man, I know you use one man, you pushing, but use the head. We need more men to come up, more people to learn this Constitution. So we could go to front and we could put billboards up and everything on. Professor, are you willing to do that?
Yes.
I'm willing to stand by your side and willing to, I know we need some money and everything and all. Professor, I'm even willing to go there with a jug and go around and let people put money for us to sponsor.
Yes.
I'm willing to do that, Professor. We have to do it, Professor, because we don't know how long we can live on this. Professor, I know you're older than me. But you might live to see 100. I might live to see 100, Professor. If we don't fix it now, Professor, we can suffer.
No, we will.
Professor, we can suffer. I'm telling you, we can. You won't see like Bill Olympians and going up the man
yes,
and talking about this and that. Come on, Professor, you shouldn't happen later. If we don't stand up and see the Bahamian people don't understand what's going on until they get into the system. Professor, before you go to the old folks home right now and see all them people who in the old folks home used to work for government. They used to be doing this. There was some big thing in government and them private places. When you know what they is now, they in the old folks home laying up, the people them had to, the kids them had to put them in the old folks home because you know why? They didn't make the pathway for the kids them. They helped them to pass on this generation and wealth and pass on this knowledge and everything on it to help them to keep them alive, where they could send them to the hospital, make sure they get the medicine on time. If they ain't no time, the kids them say they didn't make no way. We can't take care of mommy. So we put mommy and daddy in the old folks home.
Yes.
That's what my old man had to go on. He was big thing. He didn't make no head and no headway for his kid. All his kids was living. And he didn't make it no headway. So you know what happened after? He had to get in the system, he get the stroke. All he had no more money. We couldn't take him. We put him, he had to go on an old folks home. That's why I'm telling Professor, I refuse to go in the old folks home. I refuse to live to see 80 years old and I got to be hustling around the place, running from this place to that place and everything and all that, Professor. We have to fix this now, else you can see a lot of people in them old folks home. And when you go in them old folks home, you die faster. Because they don't care. They only collect that money, making sure that money coming from national insurance. That little bit of money which you're supposed to be getting, that going to them.
Yes, sir.
But anyhow, Professor, I can finish listening to you.
Yeah, okay, caller. You made some very good points, and the call is correct. Thank you very much for your contribution. Bahamians, this is the time now to move to secure the country. Yes, I agree with him about the Constitution. We need more people to form a constitutional committee, yes, I would be in favor of that. I have no problem with that at all. Because Bahamians, we have to move on it now. Not tomorrow, not next week. And plenty of you say you like the show. That's why I told you to send me an email with your numbers on it, put your phone numbers on it, and say you want to support the show. You support the radio show. You support the situation where we have, I told you, 49 people that we need to do research. Bahamians, we have to take research very seriously. We have to bring these people on board. We have to pay them. We can't tell them thank you very much and they just go home just like that. These things cost money. Services cost money, Bahamians. We need sponsors for the show. We need sponsors. I told you about the rallies we want to attend so we could get accurate and precise information when the political rallies start rolling. We need your support in that area as well. So you send me an email, the State of the Nation, 242@gmail.com. I want over 7,000 of you send that email today while you can and say, Professor, I'm prepared to support you. Put your phone numbers on that email and we will answer you and tell you what you need to do. This is very, very important now because time is short, Bahamians. I think we have a caller on the line. Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please. Caller, you there?
Oh, first I thought going to break. Good afternoon, Professor.
Yeah, go ahead.
And good afternoon, Bahamas. Professor, I going on how we learn the Constitution. 10 o'clock at night. And Professor, I can talk fast. 10 o'clock at night we used to learn it. When you used to come on, I just mark my Constitution. But Professor, listen here. We need to get our politicians to learn the Constitution. Because the things that we run on with, they be calling for all kind of crazy things. Nothing of the Bible and nothing of the Constitution. And Professor, listen here. The people put honorable member for a reason. When you run on with crazy things and none of the Bible and nothing of the Constitution, you know you're disrespecting yourself and the honor they put on you.
Yes,
that's all I gave it today.
No, that is true. You're quite right about that. The Constitution says they are honorable, being members of the House of Assembly and in the Senate. We can't take that away from them. But some people dishonor themselves by doing foolishness and nonsense. The best thing for you to do is not elect people like that in the first place. You have to know the character of people. That's why character is very important, Bahamians. You have to know who it is you're sending to do your constituency affairs, who you're sending to do your national affairs. We've made some very bad decisions over the last 52 years, Bahamians. We are suffering from that. I am suffering from it. You are suffering from it. The entire nation is suffering from it. Because we got people in our midst who are running our affairs who are not Bahamians. That's number one. They're not no genuine Bahamians. They're fraudsters. They got citizenship by fraud. But they're sitting up in high office. We have to stop this foolishness, Bahamians. And so it's important that you know the character. See, I told you, Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. Look at your constituency and see if you see whether the people are rejoicing, they're happy, they're glad. They're just telling everybody to come and live in their particular constituency. Do you see that happening? Do you see all of the problems being solved in the constituency where you live? No more crime, no more violence, no more stealing, no more lying, no more crooked ways in people. Do you see any changes in the behavior of the people? Do you see constituency problems being solved? Do you see the water problems being solved? Do you see the road problems being solved? Do you see the verges being solved? Come on, Bahamians, let's look right on the ground where you live. Look at the constituency you're living in and the problems that have plagued you for decades. These are decades-old problems. More than 52 years, these problems have existed. But you've had personalities representing you. So what has happened? And then they talking foolishness in the House of Assembly, cracking jokes, while you are suffering. And people are enriching themselves at the expense of the Bahamian people. That has not been solved yet. So what are you going to do about it? I see my music is on. This is Professor Sidney McGarta, Walter Thompson. This is Open Line Friday, and I'm open to hear anything you have to say. Of course, I have a lot, but I want to hear from you. I want you to call in and discuss whatever it is you want to discuss. But Bahamians, we've got to move now before it gets too late. Don't let it be like in the Gaza Strip now, or Sudan. Sudan all broke up. Haiti's all broke up. Don't let the Bahamas get to that level, Bahamians. Otherwise, we may never recover. This is Professor Sidney McGarta, Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. We'll be back after the break.
I really dig your company.
It's your chance to join the discussion of today's issue. Let your voice be heard. Speak your mind and express yourself. Call in and participate at 326-0271 or 326-0272. WhatsApp us your concerns on 809-2310. Follow us live on Facebook and globalradio99.5fm.com. Express yourself.
We're back. This is Professor Sidney McGarta, Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network. I've just been informed that we have some listeners and viewers from Michigan and Fort Lauderdale. We appreciate that, and we want those people to tell others in the United States. We want the whole United States watching and listening to the show, and we want their support as well. I'll tell you how you can do that, because Bahamians, there are a lot of things that have to be done in order to save the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. We have some very serious issues here. And of course, we have friends outside of the Bahamas. We're going to call on those friends to really assist us and help us. Please send me an email. That's what I want you to do. Send me an email. The email address to send it to is the State of the Nation, the THE, State, STATE, of the Nation, 242@gmail.com. I want 10,000 of you to send me that email today and say you want to support Professor Sidney McGarta, Walter Thompson, to support the show. Put your phone numbers on the email. know, I like to call phone numbers because I have to see every single one of those emails. And I have my team who will be working with me and helping me because it takes a team effort to get the work done. I told you about the research team, 49 people we need. We have many things we need to research, but we cannot touch them unless we have done our homework. You know how many things the government of Bahamas has been signed? I have not yet had the opportunity to bring those things on air. It takes time to research these things, but they don't make it public for the people to know all these agreements they sign. But we got to go and search them out. What are these agreements that have been signed? And the country knows nothing about them. You just hear about them. You say, well, that's another one they signed. And people who are sitting at these tables know nothing about the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Bahamas because they do not consult the Constitution. That is why we're in the trouble we're in today. And some people giving some extremely bad advice to those who are supposed to be in charge of running our national affairs. And so we're in a lot of trouble. But if we put our trust in God, believe in God, trust in God, repent of our wicked ways. Now let me tell you something. God said his people have wicked ways. But you could repent. And if you repent, God says he will abundantly pardon. I got to get that scripture. I have to bring that on probably Monday. I'm going to research it over the weekend. I don't remember. Somewhere in Isaiah. I have to get the exact quote. Just like Proverbs 29:2. See, when God says something, it's final, Bahamians. I think we need to give God a chance. In our national affairs, in our political affairs. If God tells you when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn, you better believe that, because that's exactly what's happening. You put wicked people in authority, they're going to cause you to suffer. That's why I said, do you see any constituency where they are inviting people all over the country? Come live in our constituency. Why should you come live there? Because things are better here. But you got to behave yourself now. Don't bring that wickedness in here. You got to have standards, Bahamians. Do you see that happening? We've been having all kinds of criminal activities throughout our country. Most of it happening on the island of New Providence, and some funny things happening in the Family Islands. I got to hear from you Family Island people, you know. I don't hear from the people of Andros. I don't hear from the people in Bimini. I don't hear from the people in Abaco. We do have some from Grand Bahama, and we appreciate that. Grand Bahama continue to call. New people in Grand Bahama, you're hearing the show, call into the show. But we got to do more than that. You got to be organized on the ground to take appropriate action to change things in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. It takes hard work and commitment to do it. And it's not going to be easy because you allowed it to go for 52 years. This is year 53. Now, there will be some who will go against you because of wicked things. The wicked want to keep it the way it is. But people who have sense will say, no, we have to change it. Once we could get the overwhelming majority of you to change it, that's fine. We could go with 52%, 53% in every single constituency, and it's all over. So you won't get every single particular personality. It would be good. But some of them have sold themselves to the devil. So the devil will have to kill them. Then you got to worry about them no more. But Bahamians, we've got to save the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Our country is in very serious trouble. There are those on the outside who are trying to push us this way, that way, and the next way. You got to close your ears to the crap that's coming from them. This time around, let's give God a chance. Let's listen to what he has to say and then follow his instructions and the instructions from the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Bahamas. We want to listen to what them other fellas are saying. You could do that. But we've been doing it for 52 years. And what has happened after the 52 years? All we have is all kind of problems. That's what happens when you listen to them kind of people. Have you seen any major national problems solved in this country? Look how long the police been working on crime. Have they stopped crime yet? They're always investigating, and I'm not blaming the police now. I tell people the best way to help the police is pay obedient to the law. The police are always investigating things. That's why I can't get no protection from them. When I look for my police protection, I ain't got none. So I got to talk to these police officers and tell them I need some protection too. Well, you should continue to investigate. I'm not saying you shouldn't investigate. Keep your investigations going. But they're overrun with doing investigations. Every time you look around, something happened and they got to investigate that one. They got to investigate this, investigate that. And I don't think the police has any intention of trying to accuse anyone wrongly. I don't think they want to do that. At least from evidence that I have available to me, I don't see that happening. Now, some funny things have been happening on the police force. Yes, that's true. But generally speaking, I don't see where the police force as an organization would want to deliberately and intentionally take advantage of people's rights, freedoms, and privileges. Now, if you're involved in some funny things, that's between you and them. But you have freedom to move around. But I need protection. Who's supposed to protect me? The Royal Bahamas Police Force. So when I leave my house and I come to this job, and I leave this job, I go back home, I'm supposed to be protected. So the police are supposed to make sure that I am safe 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, while they're doing their investigations. You have to demand these things, Bahamians. But then at the same time, you have to be a law-abiding citizen. Because we're getting left out. The lines are open, 326-0271, 326-0272, 813-0271. We want to hear from those people in the Family Islands, and Bahamians in the Family Islands. Do not keep things cloaked. Some things are happening out there. We need to hear from you. Send me an email. Or you could send it right here to the radio station, 813-0271, 813-0271. And someone sent me, through my producer, a clip the other day. We're not quite sure whether the particular personality mentioned on it, it sounds like the particular personality. I won't call the name of the particular personality yet. But once we know that is accurate and precise, we'll play that right on the air. The thing is that we don't want to accuse anyone falsely. Professor's not going to do that. We're going to be honest and upfront with them. That's why we tell you to support me. So we could get accurate and precise information, not gossip, not rumor, not hearsay. People like talk gossip too much. These good Christian people who go to church on Saturday and Sunday just be gossiping. How do you get like that? God says his own people got wicked ways. What you think about the devil's people? 2 Chronicles 7:14. Check it out. But you could repent. You could change from your wicked ways. I've changed from my wicked ways. And I'm working hard to get your credibility, your support, your backing. So I can do more. Much, much more than I'm doing now. But there's a lot of hard work and commitment to do these things. The lines are open, 326-0271, 326-0272, 813-0271. So Bahamians, we have constituency problems, we got national problems, we got international issues to deal with. And we have international agreements that have been signed, whether they're all constitutionally sound, that's a whole different kettle of fish. We won't know until we check everything out, Bahamians. See, I know how they go, you know. People sitting around the table talking about they signing on behalf of the Bahamian people. And they sign in foolishness and nonsense. And you get to look at it and say, well, what the heck is this? And then the people come and say, well, that's what the man signed. They hold it over your head, Bahamians. So when you have people who are signing on behalf, well, they say on behalf of the people of the Bahamas, and the government appoints these people or recommend them to be there, that's how they get to sit behind the table. And you have a lot of people like that who don't know what they're doing in the first place. That's why we all mixed up. If you do not know the Constitution, which is the supreme law, you're going to mess right up. Even ministers of government mess right up. But yet they're sitting in the cabinet. And yet they want to continue to hold on to power and authority, even though they can't help you. That's carnal nature, Bahamians. People only want power to advance and enrich themselves. And you get left out in the cold. How many of you have got kicked to the curb time after time after time again during the first 52 years? And some of them are dead and gone. Their children are here, their grandchildren are here, their great-grandchildren are here. And they see what happened to great-grandpa, see what happened to great-grandmother. But there's something you can do about it. I think too many times we look at the negative so much. There are things we can do to make the country a better place. First, we got to make the decision to change ourselves. We have to be law-abiding. The individual, the Constitution talks about the commitment, discipline, national commitment to self-discipline. But it has to start with commitment to self-discipline with the individual person. That's where it starts. Are you a self-disciplined person? Too many of us are not. But that's where it starts. What about your family? Are they a self-disciplined family? What about your street where you live? The same people around the corner where you are. What kind of people are they? You should know, Bahamians, you live there. I know about that crew where I live. I see them all the time. I observe them. But the thing is that if you do not do anything to save the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, some other people can do some things. You ain't gonna like it, Bahamians. When the results are out, you ain't gonna like it. Then you're going to get vexed with yourself. But you don't even have to go through that. You could stop it before it happens. God looks down the road and he tells you what could happen. The wages of sin is what? Death. There's a way that seems right unto man, but the end thereof what? Are the ways of death. People are living on Death Valley, and when the end comes, they're going to die. They're heading straight for the grave. That's how some people live today. Too many are living like that today. They're living very loose lives. Very loose. And since I came to broadcasting, like I said to you, there are some places I don't even go. I don't go to those places because it would not be in my best interest to do that. I be very careful who I eat from. I take any liquids from, very, very cautious on that. I have no choice because something happened to a good friend of mine, and it was very unfortunate with that particular personality. I won't go into the story about it. But the point is, we must exercise caution and restraint. And I wake at that every day. Doesn't mean you're better than anybody, but it's just that some people are out there to do you harm. And you have to exercise wisdom and restraint. It's just that simple. Now, you don't get into people's personal affairs. You stay out of that. I know a lot of people tell me some things. See, I can't even discuss it because once it's told in confidence like that, you can't talk it. Because if you talk it, they can know. Because who you tell it to, they can tell them. And then that's going to cause problems. So what I do is when people tell me things, which are extremely personal, I simply ask God to help me to forget it. That's been going on for more than 52 years. So you tell it to me now, when I get home, I don't forget. And don't let me go to sleep on it. I just forget then. I don't remember nothing. That's a good way to put it down. So you can't recall it. You don't remember it. Just like God says, I will remember their sins no more. You don't believe him? You got to repent, though. Otherwise, those sins can be right there when you wake up in the resurrection. Then you have to pay the penalty. The wages of sin is what? Death. God can still have to kill you. So there's no way of getting around it. It's best to humble yourself, repent, turn from your wicked ways. I heard the caller, he's perhaps a little concerned. He don't want to live to be 80, at least in this lifetime, and he feels that he might suffer. I want to stay until Christ comes back. That's me. Because there's a lot of work to do. And the Lord will take care of me. See, I put my trust in God. I'll work with people, yes. But the Lord always prepares people to do some things on your behalf so the work can get done. You may know not who all they are now. That's God's business. But I won't stick around till the man comes back. There's some exciting things that are going to be happening in this country. I want to see what's going to happen in the next general election. Huh? I'm sure you want to see what's going to happen in the next general election. But maybe you got to behave yourself. We don't have a Darrell Miller now. Darrell Miller was very famous with calling the elections in this country. I do hope there's a replacement in the wings for him. An excellent journalist with great potential, but he's no longer with us. And his life ought to be celebrated. Let me just say that. Nikki Kelly's life ought to be celebrated. She was in the print media. And I think she died in 92, 93. I believe her daughter had written something about her in the Tribune. I have to get a copy of that and analyze it. But we forget about persons like Nikki Kelly, like Darrell Miller, like Rodney Munker, colorful fella on the radio, and some others who are passed on. And they're just mentioned briefly, and then the world moves on as if they never existed. Their lives ought to be celebrated. And the other journalists who were before them, who made some significant contributions to the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. But we are yet to celebrate the lives of those people. Their families are still here. They say, look what they did to uncle, look what they did to daddy, what they did to grandpa. And you hear this in all these different circles. That's not good for nation building. Recognition ought to be given to those who deserve recognition. And the persons I mentioned were very fearless. Each of them had their own style. And that's what you're going to find. Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson has his own style. He ain't copying after nobody now. you're only going to have one Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson, only one. Ain't going to be two of them. He's sticking around till the man come back. The point is we have to do our job. We have to make our contribution because the country needs you. Now, there have been some who were in journalism and in the broadcast media and were making a contribution. Then a whole army of them just left, just gone, just like that. So now the media is gutted. And my good friend, I was trying to get a hold of that particular personality this morning before I came to the show, but I couldn't get that particular personality. We need the fourth estate, and we need a strong media going into the next general election. A fearless media. Those who are going to write fearlessly. Those who are going to be broadcast fearlessly. Honestly now, not taking advantage of nobody, not getting into people's personal affairs. Now, if you want to be a candidate, we got to know whether you're homosexual or lesbian. I make no apologies for that. Because that is a part of the testing of you. We're no funny people around here. You see what's happening to these children today? All these sexual offenses being committed, and we can't figure out who these people are. Talking about they can't call their name. What kind of nonsense is this? And so we are left in the dark, Bahamians, to protect the child. Give me a break, okay? That's the kind of thing they're coming up with now, so you don't know who the fella is, who the particular personality may be. What kind of nonsense is this? For protecting the child. And the children being molested over and over and over again. Grandfathers and all talking about anyhow, doing foolishness and nonsense. So you got to protect the child. You can't call their name, and these big grown adults, huh? So what kind of protection for the children? I see no protection. See, we got to look at some of these funny laws that we have written, that have been written by them people who say they're making laws. Because some of them don't make no sense, Bahamians. How are we going to protect the children? I wish we had more parents like my mother and father. If there were more parents like my mother and father, no child in this country would be molested, not a living one. My mother and father had 12 pigeons. And they worked, they had their professions, but they protected every single one of them. No molestation on them. So why the other parents can't do the same thing? What happened to them? And I always knew mommy, I always knew daddy. Every single day of my life, there was mommy, there was daddy. So what about these other children? Why they can't have the same thing? Huh? They ought to have the same thing. But then if you got trusted like the Minister of Education said, like I got to give her a call. Who said people who were, now listen to this. This is what she said on the radio. Trusted individuals. I think Mr. Ducey may have that tape. I may want to use that again. What Glennis Anamaden said about these people. And she mentioned what the Bible say about them kind of people. Huh? She even knows something about the Bible. But the point is, people who were, quote unquote, trusted. They betrayed the trust. Molesting people's children. Doing foolishness and on. So they make you see how important it is. You have to know who the heck you're dealing with. It's no time to be playing games. And I was a little child, things are far worse today. what it was back then. And mommy and daddy were extremely protective. Today, in 2025, parents, I have to tell it to you as it is. You have to be extremely protective, even more so than my mother. There's so many distractions, so many terrible things happening. If you could get parents like my mother and father, not a living child will be molested in this country. Those are the kind of parents we need. This is Professor Sidney McCarter, Walter Thompson. The line to open 326-0271, 326-0272, 813-0271. Send me an email, Vehemence, the State of the Nation 242 at gmail.com. Please put your phone numbers on it. We will get back to you. You want to support the show, you want to support Professor, send me that email today. 10,000, send me that email today. Don't waste any more time, okay? We got to get this place straightened out. This is Professor Sidney McArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. We'll be back after.
Facebook and Global Radio 99.5FM.com. Express yourself.
This is Professor Sidney McArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. This is a rainy day. I can't even mention that. It wasn't raining when I just a little spry, but I do understand the province was drenched in rain. I must have been fast asleep. I didn't hear all that rain, but I was told that there's tremendous flooding out there. We don't have any flooding where I live. it will rain until Christ come back, and there'll be no flooding in the area where I live. I wish that could be so for all of you. But, oh yes, we have a caller on the line. Thank you, Mr. Producer. Caller, you live on it. Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, Professor. How are
Hey,
you?
how are you? My good friend from Grand Bahama. How are things in Grand Bahama? You all had plenty of rain down there?
We got
Oh, okay. All right. Boy, it rained. I
plenty.
was fast. I didn't hear anything. And when I got up, I was told that, boy, it rained all night. There's one.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy for it because my garden is doing very well.
Oh, that's fine. That's wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, my banana trees and plantain trees and sugar apple and
Yeah,
all
they
of
say
my
a whole
trees
lot
are
of things in
really
season right now.
thriving.
Sugar apple.
Oh yeah. Well, no, they were just planted them last year, so they just
Catching. Okay, yes, ma'am.
yeah, but I'm very happy, and it's looking good.
Oh, well,
But
that's fine.
Professor, I want to ask a question of you because I know you always say when you comment on something, it has to be factual, and you can prove what we're asking of you.
Yes, ma'am. That is
So
true.
my question to you is this: with the Prime Minister and his budget. Now,
Yes,
when Prime Minister David in early this year when he talked about surplus,
ma'am.
right? Now,
Yes.
when he did that, every member on the PLP side, they were bombing on the desk,
Yes.
very happy.
Yes, ma'am.
And now this week, he comes out and said he never said what he said.
I heard those. Yes.
And not one of those PLP MPs who has been sent to Parliament
Yes, ma'am.
to represent their constituency would come out and say the Prime Minister said what he said.
Yes, ma'am. That is true.
Now, see, that's the problem I have with these representatives
Okay.
because we send them to the House to have a voice.
Yes, ma'am.
You can't walk lockstep and bound when something is right, and then you walk the same lock and bound on something that we can prove that the Prime Minister said what he said.
Yes, ma'am.
And none of them would speak out.
Okay.
And this is what I'm saying to the PLPs and the Bahamian people at large.
Yes, ma'am.
If your MP doesn't have a voice, you don't need them in Parliament.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, out of the 30-something of them there, none of them have the gumption to stand up and say, Mr. Prime Minister, you did say there was a surplus and you give the public a number.
Yes.
Now, we have the tape. So was Mr. Davis, was he lying then? Or is he lying now?
Interesting
The two
question.
can be proved.
This is why you have to draw out the facts as they are. And the media of this country is in full support that he said what he said and what he said later and what was published.
And not even the media will come out and play both tapes.
Well, I heard it on one radio station, yes. It's unfortunate. Yeah, go ahead.
You have to consult these people with the truth.
Yes, ma'am.
And you got to start them cold and say no. Listen to the recording, Mr. David.
Yes.
Here's the first one, and here's the second one.
Yeah.
And he's swearing to all swear that he did not say what he said.
Yes, ma'am.
Therefore, if the Prime Minister is misleading the country, I mean, where does it go from here?
It's an excellent question. Yes, ma'am.
You know, and I'll say to these PRP followers, they have voices, and they could come out and say,
Yes, ma'am.
we're adult people, and we're not going to be gaslighted by this Prime Minister.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, there's another tape that's going around where he was talking to a Haitian media, and he was telling them he has taken on the issue of Haiti.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you hear that tape?
Someone sent me some information now that you mention it, but we're examining it, we're looking at it.
Yes.
We once we prove, we got 2 tapes on the Prime Minister that is accurate. So we're gonna hold that and keep that in.
But Mr. Thompson, then my question to you is this: what do we need to prove if we have him on tape?
No, what I'm saying is this. What I'm saying is this. Someone sent, now that you had mentioned it, someone sent something to my producer. My producer played it in my ears, and I said, no, we will not put it on air yet, unless we are absolutely certain that that's him. It sounds like him. I wasn't prepared to say that today, but it sounds like him. Once we can prove conclusively, no, hold on, listen to me carefully. Once we can prove conclusively that's him, we already got 2 tapes on him already, maybe 2 or 3, that we know is him. You no doubt about that.
Like you say, you heard it in your ear.
Yes, it was in my ear, but we didn't put it on air.
But when you look at it, you'll see it's him.
Yes,
now, he's telling this Haitian crowd, he basically intends to fix their situation.
Okay.
And then he goes on to say in that same recording about more Haitian women and children need to come to the Bahamas. I mean, you bringing in all of these people. You ain't building no new schools. You ain't building no new hospital. You ain't putting in no more water pipes. I mean, where these people are supposed to go? And he talking about Haiti issue. We have a lot of Bahamian issues. And he should be solving our issue before he look anywhere outside of this country.
Yes, ma'am. You're correct on that
and
point.
I want these same PRP followers listen to those tapes.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you ask yourself, why are you voting PRP after 52 years?
Yes, ma'am.
And then 70 years of them being in office.
Oh, yes. They have been there 70 years consecutively in the House of Assembly and the Senate. I think a lot of people need to understand that.
We got to be insane. And they say you keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result?
No, you won't get a different result. They say that's insanity. Yes, ma'am.
And then there was another thing what he was saying. If you thought, I think it was in the paper this week.
Yes, ma'am.
In reference to work permits and visas.
Okay.
It has to be cleared by the Haitian police in Haiti. They are the ones who issues the visa and work permit to these people. You know, I mean, Haiti, that's like you putting the cheese in front of the rat and then asking him to not eat it.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
You know, we have problems in this country, and it's due to people like Mr. David.
Yes, ma'am.
And he needs to step up and be a man and say when he was right and admit when he's wrong.
I agree with that. Yes, ma'am.
So that's that. We need to fix this.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
We have major problems.
Serious problems. Yes, ma'am.
So that's my contribution.
Well,
thank
you.
you very much, Professor.
Thank you for that contribution. I had gotten I heard the tape that she spoke to. I wasn't prepared to speak to, but she brought it up, and I had to tell her I did hear it. It sounds like the Prime Minister, but I am not 100% sure yet. But we will find out very soon. And we will know conclusively whether it is him or not. The Colin Freeport believes it's him. She's seen it, the video. I didn't see the video. I just heard the tape. And she said, once I see the video, you will know that it is him. All right? But this is what I keep saying about our leaders' Bahamians. See, some things are happening right in front of your face. And some people believe you're stupid, you're foolish, you're dumb, you don't have any sense. They are continuing to deceive and mislead you, as some people have been doing for a very long time. Bahamians, it is time that we face those who have been misleading this country. We have to face up to the facts as they are. Because the country is getting very weak. And if we are not careful, we are not going to have a country. You heard the remarks made by the lady about Haitian women and children? I mean, what is this? Haitian women and children supposed to stay in Haiti with their boyfriend or their husbands, whoever children they have for. What you bringing them to the Bahamas for? For what? But I can't write welcome to Open Line Friday. I did understand you had some trouble with the weather.
Yes.
They told me it was I didn't hear nothing about no rain. I must have fallen asleep. I hear nothing about it until I woke up this morning.
Well, good afternoon, Professor, and good afternoon to 99.5 global audience, internationally and locally, and our great producer, Mr. J. Wiz. Professor, well, it was already, I don't listen to the weather, man. I download the weather app on my machine, and basically it's been more accurate than those guys, so I stick with that. And I saw it coming.
Okay.
And as I got out to the bus stop, all heavens opened up.
Jeez.
So I said, you know what? I'm grateful, and I'm sure the farmers are grateful.
Yes.
And also others to cool it down, because it's been hot for the last couple of days.
No, it has been hot.
But I listened to the lady on my in, and I've been hearing a lot of people, and here's what I try to explain to people. I saw an article where they were posted by the Immigration Department.
Yes.
And one of the things that took me by surprise is that our Immigration Department is just as lost as the average Bahamian about law in Haiti.
Okay.
For instance, let us clear this up. Haiti does not have an elected government.
No, they don't.
So anyone who supports a transitional government that is not elected by the people is supporting an illegitimate government.
Illegitimate, yeah.
Which means that the Bahamas government has been supporting a government that was not elected by the people of Haiti.
Yeah.
So any agreements or whatever you've been doing, dealing with them, it is not legal.
No, it cannot be legal.
Haitian people knows that this government is not an illegal official government, and anything that the Bahamas government do with them, the Haitians here will tell you it don't mean nothing to them.
Okay.
Because here's the thing, I saw that article where they were saying now with documents must be approved, will be covered by the Haitian police.
What kind of crap is that?
Well, last time I checked, the Haitian police has no authority. Most of the problem in Haiti right now is caused by the Haitian police because they are working with the gangs. I was looking at an article by NPR, and Haiti's been trying to have an election for the last 3-4 years.
Okay.
They already changed 2 persons in the transitional government already. This last person, Mr. Cyril, I think Sinclair or something, he is saying this is going to be the last time that they will have a transitional government. They're going to start their first elections with probably local authorities or structures in November. Then they will go into February for the official presidential election. So when you look at the Haitian Constitution, they specifically tell you how their country is run. So when you're telling me that you can enter the police, Haitian police for for visas, that's not their job.
No, it doesn't.
That's like telling me you go to Kwaku Street Police Station to get a visa to travel. It does not happen.
Yes, okay.
So the only thing they can do is get you record to say, well, this person has a clean record. But we already know that the Haitian police force, because what they don't tell you is that almost 50% of those people who are in those gangs right now were former policemen. So that means their colleagues are still there.
Are still there. Yeah.
So any information they get it from their colleagues. So how are you going to tell me that you, as an official government agency, you're relying on someone that you don't even know who they are? You don't even know if they're legitimate.
Yes.
And, for years, we've been sitting here in this country too long, not abiding by the Constitution of the Bahamas.
That's correct.
The Constitution specifically tells you that all articles in citizenship comes with a referendum.
Yes.
And they laid out all the articles, and they tell you the only 3 numbers the Constitution gives when it comes to citizenship: 18 to 19. You are a non-citizen. Your parents are non-citizen. You can apply at 18, but before your 19th birthday.
Right. Hold it right there. I think I have a caller. Caller, you live on there. Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing okay.
I listened to the lady who called a few minutes ago, and the Prime Minister about this whole budget. So, if the Prime Minister word has shut off meaning, when the Prime Minister speaks, the country should pay attention, listen, and should believe and trust what he says. And if we can't trust what he says, we can't believe what he says, then I think it's about time to be in the people ask for the Prime Minister's resignation.
Okay.
His words should have meaning. His words should have truth and have trust behind it. And it doesn't.
Okay.
It doesn't. What he's basically telling the Yemen people is, y'all ain't what he's telling the members in the House of Assembly is, y'all ain't weekend. And the piggyback on what the lady said, every member of the PRP side in the House of Assembly, including the Speaker of the House, have not said one word to correct the Prime Minister.
Caller.
That is thing of one.
Hold on a minute, caller. The Speaker is an independent entity. She is not a PLP. She's not an FNM. The Speaker's role is to oversee the House of Parliament. Now, if the Prime Minister was wrong, all they have to do, and this is what I tried to tell somebody yesterday, any speech that's tabled or built or referenced in Parliament, it is recorded in Hassar, which is basically the logbook of the Parliament. If the Prime Minister believed that he did not say, all he had to say, look at the Hassar and see if I said what I said. And, the Prime Minister, I hate to say this, but I believe our leaders is suffering from some form of lack of understanding numbers, because when you're not a person who is very proficient in mathematics, you tend to make mistakes, because he did say surplus.
Yes, he did.
And then he comes back and he says deficit. And then he says, I didn't see. When you don't prepare the work that you're about to deliver to the public, you put yourself in trouble, because I told you, the budget itself is not, the Prime Minister is not a man proficient in mathematics. And if you look at the people around him, I don't think many of them are proficient in mathematics. So I always say that the Bahamas government or the Parliament should basically, when it comes to the budget, whoever is the administrator of the day should have that work outsourced to a private, a chartered accounting firm, that they could basically put a group of former governors of central bank, let them look at the numbers, let them write a report, And if their numbers are off, the parliament could always for them to say, listen, what are these numbers that you give to the leader of the parliament to present to us? And then you could question them, and then you can basically get an answer. Right now, what we having right now, right? All of our prime ministers, none of them has ever been idle to be a proficient person in math. So when you don't have a background in mathematics, you tend to basically say things that when people ask you, and because you don't know, this is the problem we face in this country. We have many parliamentarians do not like to admit, I don't know. It's not a crime not to know.
Well, if I could correct you on one thing, you said, the prime minister made a mistake. If this was an isolated incident, if this was a one-off, I would consider this a mistake.
Yeah, but here's what I'm saying to you. You can make plenty of mistakes. One mistake is one mistake. You can make many mistakes. And the problem is, when you make these mistakes, you got to be man enough for woman. Listen, I apologize. I made an error.
Yeah. The point I'm trying to make is this is not a mistake. This is a habit because it's not the first time.
Yeah, but what I'm saying to you, caller, the prime minister doesn't know the budget. He reads the budget. Other things he does, if you watch this prime minister more carefully than any of the other prime ministers, he would stand up and this is my observation by being in parliament. And I told this to one of his colleagues a couple of weeks ago. I said, I don't know if you noticed this. He said, what? I said, whenever the prime minister starts a speech and he loses train of thought, he tends to either try to make a joke about the matter or he pauses and he points fingers at the opposition. So these observations I've known. And I said, when you look at the matter itself, the people around him who puts this together in this finance department that he's in charge of, they're doing a poor job. And he's doing a poor job by keeping them there.
Okay, let's hear some more from Caller. Caller, go ahead, please.
The point I'm trying to make is if this was an isolated incident, if this was a one-time incident, I would have accepted that. But the prime minister did the same thing with the Bombsey situation about the insurance, with the insurance thing. Remember with the hurricane catastrophic insurance when he was deputy prime minister?
Yes.
With the hedge situation with BPL. So this is again, if this was isolated, I would have understood that. But this is a habit.
Yeah, but see, I said again, caller, he is now prime minister. I don't look at what he did as deputy prime minister.
But we have to.
No, because he is not the man in the chair.
No, he was not the man in the chair. But that still doesn't change the person.
But I always say this. I judge a man on what he does. And from this position as a prime minister, I'm saying again, he is not proficient when it comes to understanding mathematics and numbers.
But the contrary, he has to take responsibility.
That's all I'm saying.
Happened.
He doesn't like to admit that he's wrong.
Well, that's a different matter.
That's what I'm saying. As the man in charge of the country, you should be able to say, listen, I am wrong.
But we still need to recognize and we still need to realize that this is habit. This may be, maybe a prime minister, but a deputy prime minister is still the same person. This is habit. And also, too, the prime minister came very, very extremely hard. I can be a damn son of God here.
Yes,
extremely hard.
I told people over and over, the prime minister is very thin-skinned. And I seems like being in that, most of those guys are very thin-skinned because there are times when you say things, you got to understand that the press will not print nothing if they didn't go and do a factual background check on your statement. And I told someone close to him, I said, listen, man, that was uncalled for because our brothers has no bearings on what he said in the parliament. See, she went after what he said in the parliament.
And she didn't quote her words. She didn't repeat her words.
No.
She didn't write. She quoted his words.
His words. Yeah.
And it's not just that. His words are recorded.
Yes.
His words is in the hands of.
Yes.
So he could have rechecked his words. So if you went that hard at Cynthia to ask her to apologize, then we as the Damon people should expect the same thing from you. Not only from Candia Dames, but also Mr. Beaton, the people in the House of Assembly. And if you're not prepared to do that as a Prime Minister, then I think it's high time you step down.
Yes. Well,
because we don't trust your words anymore.
Well, I tell people this: you see who he is, and it's up to your hands to make your decision.
But I think See, when you have hardcore evidence, and this is what I insist on the radio station, once you have hardcore evidence of the character of the particular personality, that is what you wake with.
Yes.
Make a determination based on that. Not gossip, not rumor, not hearsay.
Yes.
Can I draw this one more point before we leave? The hindsight's supposed to be the Bible per se, or the House of Assembly.
Okay.
Anything you say that it's recorded.
Exactly. The Deputy Prime Minister Shannon and the Deputy Leader Shannon Cartwright was suspended based on hearsay.
Well,
not based on the hindsight.
Well, I made a comment on that, and I told people that the speaker in her role aired very, very poorly because she should not.
It's only hearsay. Now, one or two people heard it.
But she should not have listened to the leader of government business on the comment. See, the speaker is supposed to be independent. Let me go to the hindsight. Look it up.
Check it up. Yeah.
And if it ain't there,
so in that regard,
yes,
it's just a continuation of the biasness this speaker has shown towards the PLP and against the FNM. And in my opinion, I think it's time that we look for a new speaker out because she's being unfair from day one.
Well, I would say this before before we go to break, and I said this to Professor yesterday. I think it's high time that we now only have persons with legal background who understand the law and the Constitution as speakers. See, when you take non-personalities and you put them as speakers, they're always going to be looking towards legal person in the government side who basically should not be advising them because the speaker should not have taken advice from the leader of government business. That's wrong.
Right. We have to go to break now because I think we're a little overdue with that. This is Professor Sidney McArthur Walter Thompson. Thank you, Brother Cartwright, for that explanation. This is Professor Sidney McArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network. We have an interesting discussion. I want to thank the caller for his call. That was very interesting. Bahamians, we have to get factual information. Once you have that, you can stand strong, and you have to take the necessary action now. You can't let them people get away with foolishness and nonsense. This is Professor Sidney McArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. We'll be back after.
YCast, where you can afford to look good. East Street to Blue Hill Road. It's your chance to join the discussion of today's issue. Let your voice be heard. Your mind and express yourself. Call in and participate at 326-0271 or 326-0272. WhatsApp reference your concerns on 809-2310. Follow us live on Facebook and Global Radio 99.5FM.com. Express yourself.
This is Professor Sidney McGarter Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. The aim is to see how much time and effort is spent, or who said this, who didn't say this, and even when leaders are found to be in error, leaders tend not to want to admit that they're wrong. They insist that they didn't say it. And if we can prove that you did say it, we present the evidence, we present facts. It's up to the individual to do so. Now we're going to play a clip. We think this one has to do with the deputy leader of opposition on this particular issue. That was, he was suspended for one sitting when the House opens again. Go ahead, Mr. Producer.
Nowhere in this contract does it say I use the word lie. Nowhere in this contract does it say I use the word lie or called you a liar. It did say that I said if he misled this out. I asked a specific question if there were any fees that were increased. I didn't qualify when that was. The honorable member took it upon himself to misinterpret or interpret what I was trying to say, Madam Speaker. It's my duty to my own and the principles that I bring to this, I cannot, in conscience, give an apology. Thank you, ma'am.
It is the ruling of this chair that the honorable member for St. Barnabas will be suspended on the next sitting of this House after the summer break.
Now, the Speaker made a ruling, and the suspension will take effect in the next sitting of the summer. Now, it is if I don't know whether the Speaker had the hands checked, but she made a ruling. If it's in the record that he said it's fine, then you bring it forth. But a ruling shouldn't be made on an allegation. You have to check the evidence first to see whether it was before you take out an action like that, because it causes a lot of unnecessary confusion. And being human, the tendency is you will make a mistake. But then, in order to make sure that you be fair to both the opposition and those on the governing side, the Speaker of the House has a responsibility in the office of Speaker. And I think sometimes people forget that. You see, in the Constitution, that is the way it ought to function.
Yes.
And unfortunately, it doesn't happen that way. So a whole lot of time is taken up with who said this, who said that. That's why I am saying to the public, we're asking for their support so we can get accurate, precise information. That's why we have to go to those rallies. We have to attend them. We got to record them. We have to know what the man say. We have to know what the woman say. And all kind of funny things happening out there, artificial intelligence. This one got say this one say that. Then they leave a piece out. And then the man say he didn't say it.
But Professor, if you listen to the tape carefully, the member of St. Barnabas said specifically, there's nowhere in this aside that I use the word lie.
Yes, he said
or
that.
Call you a lie. He said, check it. There's no articles, nothing in this article said, now if you assume, you interpret I'm calling you a liar, if you interpret that's what I mean, then that's on you.
Yeah.
But you cannot use your interpretation or your gut feeling
against what he actually said.
You have to use exact words that he said, and he said, listen, check it. Here it is. I have not used those words. So for the Speaker to make a judgment to go and suspend him, the Speaker was wrong. Because now she is interpreting what he said on record, that he is calling the other honorable member a liar.
Yes.
And that is wrong. I was reading some of the stuff here from some COI friends of mine. And yes, I know the symbol and I know them, and they believe that I am making excuse for the Prime Minister. And I try to tell people that whether you like him or not, you have to give him that respect. But I always tell people that when they make statements, I don't get emotional. Yes, the Prime Minister has made many, many missteps along the way. The thing is that he should be man enough. I don't need to tell him, boss, you wrong. He should know if he's done. And it is sitting in the highest office of the country.
Yes.
He should be the one stepping up and saying, listen, man, hey, I apologize. Yes, I told you this, I make mistakes lots of times. And a lot of those times I had to come back and apologize.
Yeah,
now, because he hasn't apologized, and a lot of the stuff that he said has been proved. It's his words. It's like the words when he said on the campaign trail. And he said, I am you and you.
Oh, he got that. You know that's him.
Yeah, that's his mouth. There ain't no one tell me that.
And no one. And the thing is, since that has happened,
but yes,
we have seen
a pattern with him and his allegiance towards those particular persons. Because he went into a Haitian church after becoming Prime Minister.
He got that too.
And he said it again.
Yes.
And so what I'm saying is this. Yes, when he makes mistakes, they are mistakes, but these are what I call blazing mistakes.
Yes.
Not small mistakes.
No, these are serious.
Yeah.
Very serious.
It is up to him as a man. And it's up to his colleagues, those who sit in his cabinet, because they all got an equal voice.
Yes, they
say
do,
to my chief, I just smile because when you speak to some of them outside of the forum, of Parliament, or what we say is off the record, they will admit, I wouldn't do that. But when you see them sit down in that honorable house,
it's a different kettle of fish.
They go back to being parliamentarians instead of being parliamentarians. And so this is the problem we have in Parliament of the Bahamas. We do not follow the laws that is there and the guidelines that there that governs the Parliament.
Yes, that's
and
right.
When members of the Parliament misspoke or whatever, and if another member of the Parliament brings up and says, listen, man, that is incorrect.
Yes.
The Speaker's role, and this is what I've always told you, the Speaker's role is to be a partial, non-biased judge. Said, okay, if that's what you believe, he said, let us go, take a break.
Take a break. Check the record.
Check the record. And when you present it, and then you say to whoever who is wrong, you need to apologize for your comment.
Yeah.
There's no crime in you standing up and say, listen, man, I'm wrong. The Prime Minister has a problem whereby that, and I think it comes with that position, is that when I am Prime Minister, whatever I say, even if I'm wrong, I'm right. No, that is not the way it runs.
No.
You have to understand that there's the right way and there's the wrong way. And again, I said again, the Prime Minister is not proficient with math, because I've been hearing him talk about numbers. And when you speak to most of the people in the chartered accounting field, they will tell you that when he talks about surplus and budget, they say, man, this man is talking about a prospect. It is he's hoping this will happen. But he cannot take that to happen because why? He does not know.
Yes.
And so when he makes mistakes, and I was smile because I say, man, it's wishful thinking. And I admire you trying to be wishful thinking to make people believe everything is rosy. But you don't know, because you can have another drawing on your hand.
Of course you can.
And then what you're going to tell the people? Well, you didn't expect, because you don't know what could happen.
Yeah.
So deal with the small things that you can deal with and be upfront with the public.
Right.
They ask you to do much, just be honest with them.
Yeah, but see, that hasn't been coming for.
No. And I tell people that post, because if you notice the trend, I always tell people that if you look at the trend of all of our prime ministers, even the late great Clinton in his latter years, when he made mistakes, he would anchor down in it. And he said when he was leaving Parliament that he apologized. And that's why I admire him, because he didn't know some things. And he admitted that he didn't know, and he admitted that it was his fault. But we don't have these leaders today don't like to admit when they're wrong.
But see, he even said on election night,
yes,
he did not know the people were hating that much.
Yes.
That's what the man said. Yes. Now, that's kind of late when the damage has been done. It's very little you could do about that.
Because now you lost that.
You lost it, yes. And it didn't come back. The point is, it would be better. This is why I keep saying to people, we're looking at 52 years of independence in this country. You've seen the track record from Sir Lyndon right on up to now. 5 personalities in the office of Prime Minister. You had a whole army of persons appointed to different cabinet positions. We have to check the character of people, which we have not done a good job of character with people. The quality of the people you have running your business, and whether people are prepared when they do it, because it's always possible, being flesh and blood, skin and bone, being mortal, being material, being physical, you can make a mistake. But if a person gets so pig-headed and so haughty and so proud, you think because you're in a particular position, you are above making mistakes, then that's a real problem.
Yes.
And you've seen this happen. This is why I am saying that when you have any information, and we got information on him, that we know it is him. We know it is accurate. And we will play those, we put that on air and let people comment on it.
But you know, Professor, one of the biggest grievance that we, the Bahamian public, do
Yes.
is that after an election and the parliament is sworn in, we, the people, do not hold them accountable.
No, we don't.
They don't have all of the constituency meetings. And because you did not or I didn't vote for you, I would refuse to go to a constituency meeting and pay my grievance. I would sit around underneath the tree with the boys until, man, this is going on. And they say, man,
It doesn't make any sense.
they'll say, well, you go on, I don't go by the office. But you say, well, I'm going to go around the office. I said, okay, go to when they have fine when they have the meeting. And you put the question there in an audience.
Yes.
They'd have to give you answers. But if you don't go, you make them feel that, okay, everything is okay. And then you sit back and you cry, willy-nilly at home or whatever.
I can tell you, Brother Cartwright, in a particular constituency, every time I go in that particular area, everybody keeps asking you for something. They know me personally, but the point is they have a representative.
Yes.
And they just sit right there and they complain and they grumble. They don't take any initiative to go and see that particular personality. And so they just lay it on you. But they gave the power and authority to a particular personality who has that authority and power now to assist them and help them. But yet they do nothing about it. This is a problem we have with the Bahamian people. They grumble and they complain, and they do not know their constitutional right, freedoms and privileges, where we have such a wonderful document,
yes,
which we don't use. And I'm glad that lady called from Grand Bahama, because I wasn't prepared to speak on the tape, but she brought it up, and I had to tell her, yes, I did hear it. And it sounds like the particular personality, but I said I was not sure, so I was not prepared to play it at that particular time. But once we are convinced, and we have hardcore evidence that it is that particular personality, it will go on local radio. Because see, there can be no doubt about anything. The man already accused someone who is very high in the media, a very respected journalist, of giving out misinformation. And then, of course, he took a political swipe at the particular personality about a brother. That had nothing to do with the issue. But this is what people do. And I think that's wrong, because I heard it myself.
Yeah, deflection.
You say it's a deflection, yes. If you're going to stick with the issue, then stick with the issue. He wouldn't like no one to do it to him. If his wife was running or some other personality in his family was running, he wouldn't like that. But these are things that political personalities do to other people, which they wouldn't want to happen to them. And so it's important that when people have to make a decision in choosing a parliamentary representative, that you take all these factors into consideration. The track record of the person. And of course, the caller was saying that this is a record that has been going on not just once, not just twice, but he mentioned several instances of this particular personality. Yes. And so these are the things that the Indians need to look at in making a sound decision or a good judgment. I believe too many times we just wear these labels.
Yes.
And we're not serious about governing the country at the constituency level, at the national level. And we have serious problems, Bahamian.
But Professor, and I listened to that caller, right? And what I was saying to that caller, the individual served as deputy prime minister, and you saw all of the fail that individual did.
Yes.
But you still voted for him to become If I have made a document that was fraudulently, allegedly fraudulently, and I end up with a Bahamian passport. Yes, and I end up with it as a Bahamian passport, and I'm on the record of having a Bahamian passport, means that I am allegedly a Bahamian citizen.
That's right, yeah.
All they're saying to people is this: you never voted? No. Now I can just have my information transferred to the parliamentary registrar, and I'm on the registry to vote.
Yes.
And I said, what is the checks and balance? How are you going to know if that person is legitimate? The parliamentary registry don't have that authority, I believe, to go and background check. That goes to the passport, and the passport don't have that background because they would tell you after they would want a birth certificate. So it means that those who are supposed to check, you still have the someone who comes from another country goes to immigration and they say, well, they got their citizenship through the Nationality Act. Say nothing about it that tells you.
That's a problem.
That's a farce.
Yes, that's a farce, yes.
So all the things we don't take seriously and check these stuff up.
Too many on that register right now through the Nationality Act, all the way back from the very beginning.
But I see with my own eyes, Professor, whereby people who are now applying to become citizens who were on the register, I don't know how they slipped through the crack.
That's not a crack, that's a big open gap. That's more than just a crack. Because plenty are there now who do not qualify to be citizens of this country. And the government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas is complicit in doing it. No ifs, no ands, no buts. That's not an accusation. That's a fact of life. And we have hardcore evidence to prove. And Bahamians need to wake up quickly because we may not have a country after the next general election.
You're correct, Professor. And we're about to, after the end of this show, we will have a rebroadcast, Save the Bee, with the host, Joe Dowell and Jawan Hunt, with special guest, with Karen Pinder Johnson. So, folks, I will turn back over to Professor to close out the show.
Well, thank you very much, Brother Cartwright. I appreciate that. This is Professor Sidney Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. Have a pleasant weekend. I'll be back here on Monday. Of course, you know that's Constitution Day. That's my day on Monday. This is Professor Sidney Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. Have a pleasant afternoon and pray for the country, Bahamians. We need God's divine intervention. That's how we will save this country. This is Professor Sidney Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. Have a pleasant weekend.